heard you want to get into the demolition business. If you talk about the funniest human beings of all Alabama, Joseph Lozada. The second name probably be Jermaine Funnymaine Johnson. Jermaine, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling good. Life is good. I'm feeling good, bro. Thank you for having me on your show.
Okay, well, this is truly an honor. You're supposed to be my second show, but something happened this past weekend and you couldn't make it.
Really? But, something happened?
Yeah,
that could be.
Thing. But we're gonna talk about that a little later. I want to go ahead and get down to the bread and butter stuff that I want to talk about first.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you originally from?
I was born in Opelika, Alabama, East Alabama Medical Center, 1980. What my dad told me, Dr. Chase was my doctor. And I was in Opelika, man, up until the 5th grade. My dad remarried. We relocated to Birmingham, and I definitely became a Birmingham boy, but I always make time to show love to my birthplace, man, Opelika.
Okay, Opelika. Shouts out to Angel Thrift Store. Check that place out. Free advertisement. But now you're a preacher's son. Is that correct?
Absolutely. My dad started a church in Opelika. It's still up on 610 Clanton Street down there. If y'all ever get a chance to go visit those great people, please go do that. Bishop Carter is over there doing a magnificent job. And that's all I've ever known, man. We literally grew up in a house where the first services before we got the building was in our living room. So, there was no missing church ever at our house, man. So, yeah, but shout out to my family down there at the church, man. I love them.
Yeah.
It's Christ Temple. I gave the address, didn't get a name. So I'm sorry. Christ Temple.
You gotta forgive me. I'm doing this on my phone, so I'm trying to open some water here, and I'm like,
"I'll do your thing, bro."
Yeah. How professional is this?
I understand. Let me just say, I understand. Been many nights I was on stage and I wanted to just rip open the water right there. So I understand.
So let me ask you this: the National Association of Black Journalists is an organization of African American journalists founded in 1975.
Right.
It has such members as Lester Holt and Ed Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
You a member of this historic organization. Was you trying to be a journalist?
Yeah. I absolutely was, and I absolutely am. The How Bama Fan videos, that's journalism. Journaling or being a journalist is, just imagine if somebody's reading your writing 100 years from now to see what the tone of yourself and your world was at that point. Years from now, they'll look at those videos and say, "Oh, that's what he was thinking that week." So yeah, it's all journalism, man. That's what I studied at Stillman and subsequently other schools a little bit later. So yeah, I love to write, man. I love to journal.
You said you went to Stillman. You didn't go to Alabama?
Now, I went to Bama after Stillman, but undergrad, I definitely went to Stillman College for 5 years. So, yeah, it's a good 5 years. Then I took classes at the university But yeah, being a part of that NABJ, man, that was awesome. Met some great other journalists over the years. Stuart Scott comes to mind, and just so many different people. So it's a great organization, man. It really, really is.
Now it said, now what, I have to ask, what got you into comedy?
Man, I've always been a class clown, believe it or not. I was a very good student in Opelika. I attended Darden Head Start, which at one time was my dad's high school. Used to be Darden High School, and when I got there, it was like a primary school. So I started off at Darden, and then I went to Brown Elementary, and then I ended at Martin Elementary. And I'm not sure if either one of those schools are still open, but those are where I attended, and then I moved to Birmingham.
Did you go to Opelika High School?
Nah, I didn't make it to high school. By the time I went to middle school and high school in Birmingham.
Okay, I was about to say, I was about to the horns. So,
Oh, no, it's always go Dogs, though, man. I follow them religiously, Opelika Bulldogs, man. I know the years when they make it to the championship, the years they fall a little short, the basketball team. I follow those sports really, really closely.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So to start, I want to go ahead. What was the start of your comedian career? I mean, what was it like?
My teachers would say that it was in the classroom, but on the professional side, August 25th, 2005, that was my first show at the Old Hill Center at UAB. My fraternity brother at the time was just DJing, and I had been thinking about getting into comedy. I was writing for some other guys. And he said, man, they say you can get up if you want to. I got up, enjoyed my little 5 minutes, and I never looked back, man. I love that feeling.
Yeah, some people say I should be a comedian and they get to know me. First, so that was your first performance as a comedian?
Yeah, absolutely first performance, for sure.
Okay, well, hey. Now, I saw in your bio, Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like working with these legends?
Man, there's a video of me and Kevin's interaction still on the internet somewhere. If you do a little diving, and one of my buddies has video of me and Steve's interaction, but it was all just me soaking up wisdom. You know what I'm saying? I never ask comedians, put me on the show or do this or endorse me. I always ask them the same question: what are you reading? What were some of the mistakes you made? And I just soak up wisdom, man, anytime I'm around those type guys.
Wow. I remember being a correction officer for DJJ, and these kids used to argue with me like, Kevin Hart's the greatest comedian of all time. I like Kevin Hart, but
Right.
I was always a big Eddie Murphy fan.
Right.
And I'm trying to like explain why Eddie Murphy is like the best comedian of all time. And they're looking at me like, who's Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, well, see, comedy, number one, is subjective, who your favorites are, but all those guys, they contributed heavily to this thing that we call comedy, and we love them, and we should definitely continue to give them their flowers right now.
I also like somebody you probably heard of, Pablo Francisco. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, man, Pablo with the impersonation. I used to love when he did the movie guy. That was my favorite one. He used to kill it. I haven't seen him in a while come through the Stardome or anything, but if he does, I'll check him out. He's a funny dude.
Yeah, just like you, I take his shit and I'll go to work, and just like in Eddie Murphy Raw, I know y'all go to work and mess my stuff up. Like
right.
There's so many good yours. I did the one with the church and the church and the club being the same.
Yeah,
started man. And everybody at work is like, what the?
That's good stuff, man. I ain't used that bit in years, but that was one of my favorites early in the career to tell.
So, what was your first acting experience like?
My first acting experience. Wow. You may have to go back to middle school with that one, man. Oh, no, elementary school. I was in Opelika for we had a Black History program that year, and I had Eli Whitney. I remember I had Eli Whitney, who invented the cotton gin. And yeah, man, that was the first role I remember playing. I don't remember what I said, but I remember that character. So I actually learned something. So yeah, that was definitely my first acting gig.
But you also was on that show on TBS. I forgot the name of it.
Sullivan and Son. Sullivan and Son with Birmingham's own Roy Wood Jr. kind of hooked that up, man. And Roy's been just such a great friend. And I went and I was just doing background work. And I met the director early in the day, and we had a quick conversation. He was real cool. He was like, "Yeah, you from Alabama? This, that, and that." He rolled tide, and during the whole filming, which lasted hours, he kept calling my name out in front of everybody. He's like, "Where's Jermaine? Where's my guy? Come on, Bama. Come on, sit right here. Like, sit up front." So he was positioning me to be on the camera, where people could see me. In the show, and it wasn't until like 2 years later I called Roy. I said, "Man, I just realized you set that up, bro. Thank you, man." I thought I was special that day, but I realized Roy had set that up for me, so it's pretty cool.
So that's so entertaining to me. But I got to ask you, the love for Alabama football, where did it start?
Sitting on my mom's lap early. She was born and raised in Tuscaloosa, man. So she was a Bama girl for sure. I remember the earliest memories. My mom passed when I was 7, so it's not a lot of memories. But the earliest memories that I have, I remember sitting on her lap, and she had this big, cushy Alabama ball, about this big, and it had the old school A on it. The block A with the elephant coming through it. I remember that. And I just used to remember her going crazy. And I used to point at the TV and say, "The red team." I used to look at her like, "The red team, the red team." She said, "Yeah, the red team." So that was the first thing I used to call Alabama, was the red team. But I knew early, I'm rooting for that red team for sure.
Yeah, before my mom passed, I wouldn't say I finally got her into it, but she's sitting in her apartment, and she had to watch something on TV. She'll turn on, and all of a sudden I'll be working a case, or I'll be doing something, or watching the game, and as soon as halftime comes on, "You see how mad Nick Saban is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, I see." She'll call me in the first quarter, asking me rules and regulations. Like, what's that? I'm like, "Can we just I want to watch the game, Mom. Can I watch the game? I'll call you back and tell you what happened."
Yeah, man. It'd be like that, but she was showing that interest, man. I'm sorry to hear about your mom, bro.
It's okay. Well, it's not okay. I miss her.
Absolutely.
Just it is what it is. But let's keep this on a positive note till we get to the elephant in the room.
Right. And it's a Big Al ain't got nothing on that one, huh?
I gotta ask you. I think you just answered the question.
Mm-hmm.
Making the decision everybody from Alabama has to make.
Right.
Auburn or Alabama. I think you answered it, but after your mom passed, I mean, you could have gone to the blue team.
Yeah. I was all in by then. There was no turning back. I had my favorite players picked. I remember, this was like mid to late 80s, man. So it was Bobby Humphrey, who I actually got a chance to meet while he was playing there, because our churches used to work together all the time. And yeah, man, it was no turning back. I actually booed Bo Jackson, when I was very, very young, still in Opelika.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
What? You did what?
I booed Bo Jackson at an assembly program. I want to say we were at our elementary school. They may have bused us somewhere, but we were in like a gym auditorium. When you're little, you got those gyms, but they got the stage.
Yeah.
And they introduced him, man, because the Auburn players were doing their community service or whatever. They introduced him, and I knew who he was because he had just beaten us, I believe, with that dive. I didn't like that dude, man. And they introduced him, and I just started booing. And all I remember was my teacher grabbing that little thing right here. And I was out of there. So yeah, man. It started early, bro. I've been in Bama like for a while.
I tell you what, if you go to Bessemer, Alabama, Brismer, or how you pronounce it, you go there and you mention Bo Jackson, and you'll hear like 20,000 people talk about how they related to him. That's his cousin. And the same thing for James Winston.
James, anybody from Bessemer. Yeah. Bessemer got some great football players came out of there. It's the same for all of them, trust me.
You know, this interview is not about me, but I got the same thing in Fort Payne, Alabama. You go to Fort Payne, Alabama, and you mention the country music band Alabama. Everybody's related to them, and it was so funny. I'm a private investigator.
Okay.
And I had a case up in Fort Payne, Alabama, and I'm on the interstate, and I see Alabama Museum turn right, and I'm like, wrong time. Okay. Alabama, I can't wait. I was, excited. I go to the town next to, is up the hill. I forgot, it was a Super 8-7. I forgot what kind of hotel it was, but I go get dressed, and I'm driving down the hill, and I'm getting down the hill and everything, and I'm got his GPS. I didn't look at the Google. I was so excited. And I get there, I see the country music band Alabama.
Wow.
And I'm like, how stupid do you have to be to think that was going to be an Alabama football museum?
Well, you know, man, when your heart is there, bro, that's all you see. You looking at life through crimson glasses. I understand. You did nothing wrong. You innocent, bro.
Oh, well, my mom was an Alabama fan, so I went in there and got some CDs and T-shirts for her. But yeah, I've been up there for like maybe about 15 times, and every time I go up there, I just, for kicks and giggles, I'll mention Alabama.
Nice.
Yeah, I know Randy.
Well, when you got them small town heroes, man, it really is 2 degrees of separation, so everybody's got they're not lying about the connections at all.
Oh, no, they're not. They're not, because they still live there. And you go to Bessemer, Bo Jackson, I mean, they got statues all over the place.
Right. Yeah, McAdory, they love some Bo Jackson, man.
Yeah. Why do we hate Auburn? And tell us why we're going to continue to hate Auburn. I know hate is a strong word.
Right.
But why do we feel good when we see Auburn lose?
Because it is the worst roommate situation ever. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't pay their part of the rent on time. They come borrow your clothes. They don't clean up after this. They're just very bad roommate, and we got to share this house called Alabama together. Like, you can't avoid them.
Right.
You see that logo when you're driving around, and you see these, and you don't understand it. Like, why would you choose that side? Like, you can't understand it. But that's what it is, man. It's blue versus red. It's left versus right. It's Crips versus Bloods. The Democrats versus Republicans. It's Walmart versus Target. It's all set up to just be a very bad roommate situation, man.
Yeah. I was talking to Stingray this week. You remember Stingray?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell State. And they said that, the Mississippi State fans turn on them. And
I heard I did hear that he wasn't a State fan anymore.
I told him to come on home. He lives in Tuscaloosa.
He ain't got no choice, man. He got to. We will welcome him for sure.
So, Stingray, if you're watching, Funnymaine, the Joester, we're both right now saying, come on home.
Come on home, brother. We welcome you.
Yeah. Just don't go to Auburn.
He might do it just to spite some folks. We'll see, though.
Your favorite moment as an Alabama fan?
Ooh, man. Favorite moment. It's so many. Let me wind these down, man. Favorite moment. It's got to be the play that happened that didn't really count as a play. The George T. chase. That blew my mind, man. And I think I was 11, 12 at the time. That blew my mind, bro. Like, because if people, I don't know how old you are, but us people of a certain age remember the Miami Hurricanes were unstoppable. Like, they had an offense like you could not imagine. So much so, I wouldn't say that I was a fan, but just for the sake of, the culture, I did have a Miami Looney Tunes type shirt because they were just these cool guys, wore camo, and then you had the Fab Five, and we had to play them. And I remember we got our butts beat by them in '89, and you come back to this '92 season, I felt like the boys were ready, and man, they were ready. I remember the guys on there. You had T.P. Johnson and Sam Shade and George T. These names are forever etched in my brain. But that one play, man, amazing. If nobody's seen, you just got to go back and look at it to appreciate that the speed and the tenacity of that play, man. It was awesome. Deserved to be a Daniel Moore painting, for sure.
I think mine was actually has to be the catch.
With Tyrone, pro throw?
Yeah. Which let me give you a shout out. Both times you interviewed somebody, you answered one of my questions both times. I remember. I know you don't remember. It was like that was a Wednesday for you. For me, it was like, but when you was doing that interview, you answered one of my questions, and I was telling everybody, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the catch was mine. That was one of those moments where I was like,
yeah, it was amazing, man. An amazing play.
And
really,
that
really
time,
amazing.
And that time with Trent Richardson juked that guy.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man. Good times. Me and Trent have talked about that several times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you just throwing that out there now, ain't you?
That's my guy, though, man. That's my guy. As a matter of fact, I got to call him back. My phone been so jammed up. I owe him a call back, and I'm going to call him as soon as we get off this call.
Hey, you tell him Carolyn's treasures want to talk to him.
Yeah. Will do.
Yeah. Your appearance on CTS-Sports.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
What was your memories?
Man, just the email when they first reached out, man, it was unbelievable. I stared at it and just looked at it. And when I sent it to my manager, like, we called like, holy cow, what is going on? And then just the process of just filming with them, being flown up to New York and, chauffeured around and staying in this nice hotel on their dime and getting paid for it and getting all this exposure, man, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I gotta ask you, Jalen, Tua, what are they gonna do in the NFL, man?
Oh, they're gonna shine, man. They got those are two character guys. They're blessed athletically, but they are men of character, and they showed that all through college. So, and they're both men of faith. And they both got praying parents. They can't lose. Like, they can't lose no matter what. And me and Jalen, another name drop, we share the same birthday. We were both born on August 7th, and so was Lee Corso. So that's a special day for college football, man, August 7th.
So what are you predicting for Alabama this season?
I'm just hoping we have a season, man. If we could just have a season, I'll work out that other stuff later, but I just hoping we have a season. It looks promising, but we'll see.
All right. Well, I gotta ask you.
Yeah, man.
Something happened this weekend, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
let's start from the beginning. You woke up Sunday. You said, I guess you decided to go for a walk, and you happen to have a microphone in your hand, and you was like, "Hey, let's tear down some shit."
Yeah. Nah, it was a little bit more to it than that, man. And people have interpreted it different ways, you know, that particular speech, and it was open for interpretation. I left that door open, but I like I said, man, I know where my heart was at, so I don't apologize or take responsibility for any foolishness that happened. There's nothing, you know, sometimes people just want to do stuff because they do stuff. But moving forward, I definitely will be more clear, as I was clear with the protesters before we even started. But the something that we wanted to tear something, you know, that I was talking about tearing down was the system of oppression that we live under. This fakeness and the lies that we've been told since we were kids that perpetrate or perpetuate that same system. That was the stuff that I literally wanted to tear down, man. I never called for anybody to tear down a business or a building. For what purpose? You know, it serves no purpose, but tearing down this system and the mentality that comes with it and the monuments that came with it, I think those are worth being torn down.
But see, and let me tell you how much character you have. And me and you, be honest with you, me and you had a discussion. Be honest with everybody, the 10 to 15 people watching this right now. Shouts out to that's a joke on my part, you know, it's so small. We had a discussion before we started recording, and I told you, I said, look, man, I disagree with what you did. And, you know, I don't agree with any type of vandalism or any sort, you know. I don't. With that said, I think the biggest problem with this country right now is that when people disagree with each other,
right,
they shut off. Down. You're out of my life. I don't agree with you, so you're out of my life.
Right.
And I just don't understand that. We disagree with so many things in this world, but when it comes to religion, politics, and race, it's like, hey, you're not my friend no more, or you're not my family member no more.
Right.
And that's the way it is.
Yeah, and when you see people do that, you realize who the real problem is. The problem isn't the opinion. The problem is you not being willing to have a conversation. And honestly, I had thousands of fans to unfollow and speak their mind for me. That's fine. It's open game. But you stand back and you're like, what is it that you're actually mad about? When you get to the heart of it, you disagree. And even though I can explain it all day, they don't care. So for closed-minded people or people who or are sympathizers of racism and racist symbols and oppression, if they unfollow me, I won. So please keep unfollowing. Get away from me, please. I encourage you to.
Well, I'm still going to be posting your videos on Sundays.
My man.
That's an interesting point you made. You know, I think you have like two types of people right now are angry with you. The ones that are like, this is our culture. This is tear down our culture. You know, I don't have no problems with the stars and bars. I have with the flag. But when people talk about this is our culture, but don't have no problem seeing that flag waved at the Ku Klux Klan rally.
Right.
You're not saying nothing. This is our culture. But when you see men in sheets waving around racist rednecks, you're not saying nothing. See, that's like, I disagree totally taking off the Dukes of Hazzards because of the rebel flag. But I do have a problem when the same people talking about all this BS about this is our culture, but when you see Klansmen on the streets waving the flag, go up to them and tell them to put that flag down.
Yeah, you would think something like that would cause people to separate themselves from it. Like if I see if we saw mass shooters start wearing the Alabama A, we're going to disassociate them as fast as we can from our symbol. But they never did it. So now everybody's intertwined together with that. And I'm open to have conversations about it. I got no problem with Confederate monuments where Confederate battles actually happened. They should be there. That's history. But not in a city like Birmingham that wasn't even founded during the Civil War. And not in a city like Birmingham that's 80, 90% black, and we pay the taxes on the park. Get it out of here. And if they talk about as part of my heritage, it's a part of my heritage. Go 5 generations back. My great ever granddad, man, Samuel Ruffin in Choctaw County, one of the largest slave owners in Choctaw County. He and his brothers were colonels and members of the Confederate Army. That's my heritage too. But my heritage doesn't need to be celebrated on public property, especially when it's organization that tried to separate the United States. It makes no sense. So when I see people celebrate it or choose to, I just say, if you're gonna choose to, just be open about it. We're not here for the lies and the and the contradictions. You literally cannot put the Confederate flag and the United States flag side by side. You can't do it under any circumstance. So I know, man. When we're fighting for change, bro, it's gonna make people uncomfortable, and 2020 has been uncomfortable for everybody. We had to shut everything down. So if we got to make them a little bit uncomfortable for real change, it is what it is.
Well, I think the other half of the people that disagree with you was what I've been, you wasn't the only one that got comments. I had, when I advertised you coming on the show.
Right.
On for obvious reasons, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And, shouts out to Jasmine. We was going back and forth.
Right.
Why are you going to have him on the show? I'm never going to watch him again. You should never. I'm not going to follow you. I'm like, I got 1,400 people. You think I won't miss you?
Right.
I'm like, I don't care. I'm trying to build something. This is, this whole business, this whole interview thing is a dedication to my mother. If you don't want to watch, and trust me, a lot of people don't. I don't care. To me, this is a dedication to my mother. So, but I got 20, I probably maybe about 30 or 40 messages about, don't bring him home. Excuse the language.
Bro,
like this.
At the end of the day, man, people like me and you are going to win. Love is going to win. Conversation is going to win. We can disagree and we can still have a beer. You know what I'm saying? That's going to win. While they're all frustrated at me, I'm not going to stop. I would tell my my detractors or people who are against me, save your energy. Don't even waste all your energy being mad at this, because you're gonna need it down the road when I make you really mad. So it's gonna be a marathon, not a sprint, baby. So save some of that energy, man.
But my original point was, I think the words that were coming out of your mouth, the cuss words, that's what really was starting to hurt. Because I have a lot of Christian friends, and you GD a lot, and you being a preacher's son. I think that's the two classes of people that disagree with you right now. The people that are mad at you by tearing down the Confederate statue, and the people that heard your language. And I'm gonna say this, and you can speak your piece, and then we probably have to go. I've cussed a lot. I consider myself a Christian. I believe Jesus Christ died for my sins. I'm not ashamed to say that. Never will be. But I have cussed many times. I cussed on this interview. I've been guilty by saying GD. And 90% of the people that probably disagree with you about using bad language has probably said the same shit that you have said.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there like, like, come
Yeah.
on now, really mad because he cussed? I mean,
I honestly, bro, it's fair. I'm not a huge cursor. I don't curse in my comedy. I don't curse on the videos. I didn't curse on radio. But there was two things there, and there's a video I posted on my Twitter. I cursed because of my media training, and what I did was, and I told the reporters, I knew they were there to, go live with this thing from their official account, so I cursed then to kind of, maybe they would think about turning it off, because they can't put a lot of stuff. And I did have one faction that did have to turn it off because of all the comments, like he's going in. And the other thing I told the guy on the video, I said, I know y'all out here looking for sound bites, so I'm gonna cuss every 2 words to make y'all editing very. If y'all try to play a clip of me, it's just gonna sound like beep, da da da, beep, beep, beep. And so it was strategic. It wasn't just, I'm just gonna come out here and cuss because I'm just a big old cusser. No, it was strategic. I had a plan. I told them what the plan was, and nobody gives the cussing speech to the president, who grabs people by the pussy, who wants the son of a bitches off the field. So it's a double standard, and I'm saying that and stuff like that is the lies and the contradiction that we're tearing down. Like, we're not going to stand for that. No longer, no more.
Yeah. Well said.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you got me flabbergasted.
Yeah.
And that's where politics come in. I mean, there's Republicans.
Uh-oh. We lose you, Joe?
You got me?
Yeah, I think I lost you for a second. You back, though. And you're clearer. You actually came back clearer, bro.
Oh, thank you. That's just, well, I was saying, there's Republicans and there's Democrats, but that shouldn't define, I think that's another thing. Like I said, race, religion, politics, we got to get off the disagreement, There's Trump supporters right now, and I think a lot of even his distractors can agree that, he's done better than what we all thought he was going to do. Because in 2017, I was a little scared.
Yeah.
He's done a lot better than a lot of people was giving him credit for. But in the same right, you can't sit there and forgive President Trump for all his discretions.
Right.
And he's had many discretions. Many. Okay, many
yeah.
discretions.
Yeah.
You can't forgive him. That's what I did. I don't believe in disrespecting the president at all. I didn't disrespect President Bush. I didn't disrespect President Obama, President Clinton, President Bush, President Reagan. I'm not going to disrespect President Trump. With that said, if I'm willing to forgive President Trump for his discretions, you can give Jermaine Funnymaine Johnson, and be honest with you, he really didn't have any discretions to be forgiven. Let me make that clear. I'm not saying that because you're online.
Right.
I'm saying
no, I
you
understand.
don't have nothing to be given for.
Right.
You stood up for what you believed in, and that's what a man does. And that's why you will always have my respect, and I will always be a fan of yours. And I want to say thank you for coming on here. I think you're a real man. I think the Alabama fan base still push you on top. You still restore our president. And anybody disagrees, well, they can kiss our asses.
The phrase of the year there. But man, thank you, bro, for me and you just meeting, man. But I love your spirit, man. I owe you a beer, and I'm gonna hold myself to that. When I get down to Opelika, we're gonna link up. And yeah, like you said, man, I get it. To all the Trump supporters out there, I get it. Y'all voted for him because y'all mad at the same system of elites that we're mad at.
Yeah, I didn't vote for him. Actually, I didn't vote for him. I was working.
Yeah. Right. But no, I get it. I get, what they tied into, what he was saying. So I still believe, man, when my brothers and sisters with the red MAGA hats, when they have a moment of clarity, and I'm seeing a little bit of it, but when they have a moment of clarity and hear out these young people and Black Lives Matter, and they, I seen them protest, man. I seen them take over state houses with the AR-15s. When they had that moment of clarity and they go stand hand in hand with the Black Lives Matter, the youth, and they come to an understanding that, they're both fighting against and a system that holds back the poor, the disenfranchised, the Black, the immigrant, man, it's gonna be beautiful, dog. It's gonna be beautiful, and I cannot wait, and I'm more than happy and willing to be a part of the movement.
And I'm hoping that I get to stand right next to you.
Yes, sir.
Last question: you gonna be sitting on the couch this season?
We'll see, man. We'll see. It's a tricky position I put myself in. That's just being honest. Yeah.
No, whoa.
No, I'm saying now I could definitely turn on the cameras and make the videos whenever I want to. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like there was enough people that showed me that their love was conditional. It doesn't give me the energy, to want to do them. If I'm making sense to you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still got love for them. I'm gonna be a Bama fan. We're gonna have some dope watch parties. They're not gonna stop me from doing that. But we'll see.
I'm telling you this right now.
Mm-hmm.
You stop making the couch videos, I'm gonna come find you. We're not gonna share a beer. I'm gonna put your ass on the couch and I'm gonna put a camera in front of you. You better don't stop making those videos.
You know what? Breaking news: Jermaine Johnson will be making videos on the couch this fall. We would see a little cussing works, man. That's the message this week, bro. A little cussing can get it done.
All right, man. Hey, I know you're a busy man. You got to call Trent. Tell him Joey said hello.
Got you. Sure. I know y'all go way back. I got you. Yeah.
Stay on the line, Jermaine. It was an honor, a privilege.
Yes, sir.
And I'm proud to call you part of the Alabama family, and I'm proud to call you now at least a friend.
Okay, for sure. My God.
Tell Jackson I said hello. Appreciate it. And everybody else, we'll have Ricky Morton next week.
Hey, man, blessing to you and the show. Keep growing, and I'll see you down the road, brother. Go Dogs, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Like a Dogs.
Here at Carolyn's Treasure Shop, you can get... Oh!
Get your own championship ring.
Can't never tried to warn ya.
Let's go get bracelets.
Go!
The sun do more to warm ya.
You can even order your own championship belt.
Come on, loser.
Can't say I never tried to warn ya.
Shop at Carolyn's Treasure Shop, where you get the best deals on anything.
Hey, you gotta
And don't forget to order your championship belts.